I'm so tired. It just hit me. Work besties, Work besties, have you ever made a mistake during your career that you thought you would never emotionally recover from? Turns out most of us have, if not all of us. And today I'm going to share with you some mistakes that other work besties have made during their careers. Shall we? Let's get into it. I walked into a unit with a client for a showing, and the current tenant was showering with the bathroom door wide open. I gave my notice at work because I was moving to a different city to move in with my boyfriend, and then I found out he was cheating on me. No one could have prepared you for that. I left a space in a client's newsletter filled with blah, 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 and I sent it before I noticed. I thought I was muted in a meeting. Oh gosh, I know there's gonna be so many of these that are like typos or virtual meetings not being on mute, but let's read it. I thought I was muted in a meeting, and a coworker who rambles on in meetings was going on and on and on, and I said out loud, "Oh my gosh, there's more." I wonder if there was just a long pause after that, and the person finally was like, I have been speaking for a while, or if no one noticed and they just carried on. I asked if an employee was getting terminated, and I didn't realize that they were CC'd on the email. Awkward. I overspent on a campaign by $1.6 million. How? Question mark. On my third day, I wrote in an all-company group chat, this isn't gonna go well, that I wasn't feeling well, instead of just sending it in a private message to my boss. They politely replied saying I could just send it in a message privately, as the whole company didn't need to know. That must have been a rough day if you already weren't feeling well too. I sent a genital reminder for the webinar instead of a gentle reminder for the webinar ads. That's a double whammy. I took a nap during my break, but I was snoring so loud that the whole floor I worked on heard, and they came to find me. I accidentally informed the candidate of the maximum range of pay allocated for the job, so the company had no room for negotiation. Doing the Lord's work, you are. Knocked over a bookshelf in the office, and it went right through the wall into my boss's office. That either was a very heavy bookshelf or the walls were concerningly thin. I accidentally turned on my video when I had just come out of the shower and was standing naked. You like to live on the edge, don't you? To join a meeting in a shower, and I have either trust issues with my camera or I could never. I would think my camera would be on regardless. Did you get fired for that? I feel like there's no option other than leaving the company at that point. I'm gonna need a follow-up there. I messaged saying Kenny is a weasel to Kenny, who is my boss, instead of my work bestie. I sent a Slack message to my boss asking him to review the document, but I accidentally sent him a spicy link instead of the document. Yikes. I forgot to stop a campaign from running, so it ran an extra 2 days and cost us $25,000. That would be stressful. As a Dutchie, is that what Dutch people go by?
Dutchie?
A Dutchie?
A little bit.
I don't think I've ever heard that. As a Dutchie working in the US, I couldn't understand a word of what a British lady was saying, so I spent the entire meeting just nodding my head and saying things I thought would make sense. Is that like a thing? Like Dutch people have a hard time with the British accent? He's Dutch, that's why I'm asking. Oh, that's funny. Can you imagine being that lady and like everything you're saying, someone's just nodding or saying things that don't flow in the conversation and you're kind of just like, what is going on? I signed off a call with 2 layers of mail management saying, bye, love you. That actually I feel like happens quite often. I've definitely had moments where I'm signing off a call where it's actually my brain like, don't say that. That's because I feel like sometimes you're just so used to saying that when you hang up on calls with certain people that it's like an active thing I have to be like, don't say that. I feel like I've heard this one so many different times. I remitted $400,000 to the wrong bank account. Did you get it back? That's my question. I forgot to lock the bathroom door and my team lead opened it while I was sitting there doing my business. Office bathrooms There are so many different stressful situations that happen there, and I don't miss that. I priced many items on the company's website as 1 cent. I wonder how long it took everyone to notice. How many sales happened in that period of time also? I got bit by a squirrel while on the job. I'm a police officer. I'm curious as to what you were doing to get bit by a squirrel, and did you have to immediately go seek medical attention? Okay, that's a new one. I put the wrong email address on 100 brochures and I had to correct each one by hand. My hand, I can feel exactly on my hand where it would be so sore from doing that much writing. That's, at least you could fix that one, right? I told my boss my deck was ready for review, except I misspelled deck. Oh no. I forgot to pay 2,500 people their bonuses. Not the most popular person in the office after that, I imagine. I did a presentation for our annual fund instead of our annual fund, and I didn't notice until I started the presentation. Can you imagine sitting in this presentation? I hope it was in person, not for this person's sake, but just for everyone else's sake. And just sitting in the crowd and someone just pulls up a slide deck and it's today we're discussing the annual fund. I can only imagine everyone trying to keep a very corporate professional face, but just holding that laughter, but also maybe not, because I would just find that so funny. I put a mortgage on the wrong property. New fear unlocked. Didn't even know you could do that. Okay. I clogged the office toilet. I tell you, office bathroom stories. I clogged the office toilet and I couldn't get the water to stop and it flooded the whole floor. I don't know if I would ever emotionally recover from that. I hope you did. I stood to pee over the toilet and I accidentally peed on my pants and I had to dry them with the hand dryer before I could go back to my desk. We could honestly have an entire bloopers or mistakes that happen in office washrooms. They are a stressful place, especially as a woman. I don't know what it is, but that is one thing I do love about working from home is I never have to worry about shared washrooms. Accidentally charged a pair of shoes to my boss's P card. I think you could recover from that one. I drank a little bit too much at a work party and I proceeded to tell my boss that he has a cute bum. Depending on how your boss took that, I feel like that would make for a very awkward next day of work. I walked into a glass wall of a meeting. I walked into a glass wall of a meeting room full of people. Oh my gosh. I used to work in an office that had all glass walls of meeting rooms. And if someone walked, I don't even know. That would hurt so much. And that would be thank you for sharing that one. That's, that'd be an interesting one to recover from. I broke, the visual, oh my gosh, the visual of that, as you're sitting in a meeting and someone just into the wall, it's one of those moments where you obviously want to make sure that they're okay, but you don't want to laugh, but also you do want to laugh because it's funny, but you're also concerned. And now it's in a work environment, so now you're double what's the proper way to behave here? Oh, that would hurt so, I can't, okay. I need to move on. I broke a sample that took 6 weeks and was $100,000 to make. Yeah, yikes. I plugged in a heater which caused a building power outage. I did it twice. I used to work in an office that had a very strict no personal heater rule, so this makes me laugh. I posted my password in a group chat instead of typing it in the login window. You know what? I've done that too, except I didn't hit send. Thank goodness I noticed it before then. But I feel like that would happen quite often. I work at Toyota and I left the sunroof open in a vehicle on a Friday. It rained all weekend and the car was ruined. I forgot to put paychecks in the mail for several hundred Toyota contractors. Wow, Toyota theme here. Also, this was not the same person as the sunroof Toyota incident. Sent my 12-week ultrasound photos to a client instead of my husband because they shared the same first name. Can you imagine? At work, you just get a text of just someone's ultrasound photos with no other context. I wouldn't even know how to respond to that. If you weren't close with the person, I'm very curious what your client said. My coworkers wanted to see my dog, so I sent them a photo in Slack of him laying on the bed. What I didn't realize is my adult toys were also laying all over the sheets. Did any coworker point that out? Or was that a later realization when you re-looked at the photo? I commented on the promo graphic being used, saying that it was an ugly hand in the photo. It was my boss's hand, which she proceeded to inform me of. Oh, awkward. I accidentally clicked a link, which then sent a virus to all of our company computers. Oh. I bet you were best friends with IT after that one. My 88-year-old resident fell into the fish pond while on my watch. I walked into a full company meeting with my dress tucked into my knickers. Knickers are underwear, right? Yep. Knickers are underwear. Okay. Someone should have told you. Somebody on your way to the meeting must have seen you, and they should have told you, and that is some poor coworker behavior. I was sitting for an important meeting with a client and a partner in his office. After the client left, I went to get up and leave the office, and he started to yell at me, "Are you not wearing any underwear?" My pants had tore right down the middle in the back. So many of these, I'm like, have we emotionally recovered, or are we still, does this still live rent-free in our head? I was presenting to our country's prime minister, and I spelled the state wrong. A little typo. Did they even notice? I accidentally CC'd the opposing counsel in an email and sent them internal legal documents. Oops. I got arrested while at work for a personal issue. I guess they can do that. They can just arrest you whenever, wherever you are. This person also noted they did not get fired. I have so many questions about that. I was singing about my broccoli casserole, and then I realized I was not on mute. Do you know how much I would love to be in a meeting and just listen to someone's song about broccoli casserole? I bet you made so many people's days. And I'm really curious how that song goes. I was supposed to order one box of something, and somehow I accidentally ordered an entire truck full of it. I didn't realize until it showed up. Now I am so curious what this thing was that you needed to order that now you have a truck full of. Is it like something fun or something that you're like, we're never gonna use this many of whatever these things that are not specified are? I signed off my email. I am not sorry for the inconvenience. Relatable. I posted a TikTok of Christian Bale singing the Powerpuff Girls theme song to my firm's Instagram story instead of my personal one. Now I want to see this video. I forgot to tell my client about a settlement offer until the morning of the court hearing. I hope they know how to make quick decisions. Attached a receipt for my Brazilian wax to a male client instead of the correct document. And I imagine you wouldn't have noticed until the client responded being like, that wasn't correct. And then you open it and it's playing off these awkward moments. Like, I want to see the moments that followed so many of these, just how people behaved. How do you like resolve this? Or how did you move past them? Or did you just, that was it and you just escaped the scene of the crime? Well, clearly that one person didn't that got arrested, which I have so many questions about. No shortage of workplace mistakes, let me tell you. When I asked our online Work Bestie community of like, what's a mistake you've made in your career that you never thought you'd emotionally recover from? I received hundreds, maybe even into the thousands, because at the end of the day, we've all made a mistake at work. Absolutely, we have. And if you say you haven't, you're a liar, because we all do it, big, small. At some point in our career, we'll make a little whoops. Some of our whoopsies are a little bit bigger than others, but they're whoops nonetheless. That's it. That's all I had for you, Work Besties. As always, thank you for being here, and toodaloo for now.